Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the GDSC, that is the Google Developers Student Club of Amity University, Lucknow. And today we are going to be discussing about what is open source, what is Hacktoberfest, and how do you actually contribute to open source. So I guess we should start with Git. That is one of the most basic things that everyone needs to know in order to contribute to Git. And please note that this is going to be a hands-on session. So I request you all to please join the meeting through your laptops and please do the process along with me so that you can learn about Git practically. Okay, so can I know how many of you are currently using Windows and how many of you are using Linux? Because I will be telling the process of how to install Git on both of them. So if I could please get to know. Or let's do one thing. Let's start with Windows first, then we'll switch over to Linux. Okay, so is my screen visible? Can anybody confirm?
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so in order to install Git on Windows, you have to go to their website. I guess it's, let's see, on Google. Okay, so the website is git-scm.com. Here you will see the page downloads, Windows, and it is started to download. You click on this. Next, then don't change this path unless you know what you're doing. Leave all of this to default. We do not need the GUI, and I guess that's it. Next, next. Here, select whatever editor you are using. Don't select Vim unless you know how to use Vim. Okay, so since on Windows I don't have any editor, so I'll be using Notepad. But you all can use any editor that is currently installed on your systems, or you can use Vim if you know how to use Vim. It's up to you. Default branch name, you can let Git decide. That we'll check out later. Then Git from the command line and from third party solver. Okay, yes. Then next, let's use bundled because we do not have OpenSSH for Windows. It's very difficult to install, so we're going to use the bundled version. Next, yes, next, next. Use the Windows default console window because other terminals cause issues on Windows, at least for me. You can use whatever you want. Then default, rebase and only ever fast forward. Do not select these two no matter what. Set this to default. And then again, next, next. Do not use experimental features. Okay, so it started installing. Let's close this one now. Okay, so Git has been installed. Let's fire up the Windows PowerShell. Let's, it shows a list of all the Git commands. So this shows that Git has been installed on your system. Now I'm going to switch over to Linux and show you all how to install Git on Linux. It's actually pretty very easy. So let me just share my screen on Linux. Okay, so is my screen visible? Can anyone confirm?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, so this is the Linux. Let's open up a terminal here. Another shell. Is my terminal visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Yes, Ankit, it is visible.
Okay, so since I'm using an Ubuntu based distro, there's a simple command that says sudo apt install git. So what it does is sudo basically gives you temporary root access, apt is the packet manager, and install is the installation command, and git. We'll press enter, it will ask for the password, and okay, so it has installed git. Git is already installed on my system, so it won't install it again. Then let's clear it. Okay, let's go to the home directory. Okay, so what we're gonna do today is that we've created a repository that contains a bunch of questions, programming questions that you all have to solve and create pull requests over to that repository. So I'm just gonna show that to you. This is the repository, and these are some questions, some basic questions for those of you who don't know much about programming. And then there are these intermediate questions for those of you who have app experience in programming. So what you have to do today in this session is that I will tell you how to use Git, and what you have to do is solve these questions and upload the solution, the code, to this Git, to a fork of this repository, and I'll tell you how. So first of all, we click here and we copy this URL, the URL that's shown here. You can also copy the URL that's shown on the address bar, and then we go to Git and we type git space clone space repository URL, and we press enter and it starts cloning. Then let's go to the repository folder. So as you can see, we are in the folder. So let's do a quick ls, that is list files. These are the files that are currently in the repository. So since I have access to this repository, I've directly cloned it. But what you all have to do is to click here. You can see this button that is known as fork. So you click here, you select your username, and this. See, this has been forked to your GitHub account. So see what basically forking is. Forking means like you create a repository on GitHub, you have both read and write access to it, but other people do not have write access to your repository. Even if it is a public repository, other people only have read access to it. Like they can clone it, they can do whatever changes on their local system, but they cannot directly push it to the original repository. So what we do is we fork it, and by forking we create a copy of the original repository in our GitHub account, and we have both read and write access to it. So I'll just tell you how. I'll just clone my fork now. So let's just go here and remove this one, and then clone our fork, that is this, and then go again inside here. Now again ls. Now this repository has been cloned. So let's see what we have to do now. The guidelines. Fork the repository. I just told you how to
Excuse
fork
me,
it.
sir.
Yep.
So how do we do this on Windows?
On Windows, the commands are same. See, basically you open the PowerShell like I just told you. Have you installed Git or not?
Yes, I've installed Git.
So open up the PowerShell or command prompt. It's totally yours.
Okay, I've opened PowerShell.
Now type Git and press enter. If you've installed Git, it should show a list of commands.
Yeah, it's showing.
So basically what you have to do is git space clone space the URL of the repository that you have just forked.
Where will I get this URL?
Open up the repository on GitHub. Wait, Rushan, can you please send the repository URL on the chat box? I guess I don't have chat access.
We also don't have the chat access, I think.
Okay, Rushan, so how do we transfer the repo link to these people?
Wait a second, let me give it a look.
Okay, just
You can
Yeah.
send it on the WhatsApp group.
yep, we can send it on Discord and WhatsApp groups, I think.
We are not joined on the Discord or WhatsApp group, I think. You can just zoom it a little bit. Now we can copy from the URL what
Yep,
you are
yep,
using.
yep.
That's more easy. Yeah. HTTPS.
Is it visible? Just wait a second. Just wait a second.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
This is the URL.
Class.
No, this is not the original URL. I'm sorry.
Oh,
This is the fork URL. This is the original URL that you all have to use.
well, yes. Okay, I've opened it. Yeah.
Okay, has everyone opened it?
And,
Should I
and
wait for a few minutes?
and one more thing, sir. The things we are doing on Windows PowerShell, can we do it on VS Code's terminal also, or it is only?
Yep, you can do it. No problem.
So if I have VS Code, can I open it? I've selected VS Code in the setup.
Yep, you can open it. It's totally up to you what terminal, what editor you're using.
Okay, okay. Can you please explain from the start if it's not a problem, because of not I've denied the URL. I forgot what you did.
Okay, so basically, has everyone copied the URL now? Or should I wait for a few minutes? Okay, I guess if no one is responding, they must have copied it. So what we have to do is open up the terminal and type this command: git space clone space the URL that you just copied. This.
So
You see the command?
I open the terminal, okay, and
And
I
you
have to
type
type
this command: git
git
space clone space the
clone.
URL that you just copied.
Achha, URL I just copied. Okay. URL I just copied. Okay, yeah, I did it. Okay, yeah, it's cloning into algorithmic questions. Yeah, it's done. 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
now then you can just change your directory into that folder by using cd.
I just have to type cd.
Cd space the folder name.
Cd space the folder name. Oh, the folder name which is on my local machine.
Yep.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess everybody is up to date till here. Has everyone done it? Because I can see only one person respond.
There's an error. What's? Oh, okay. Understood. What's the error?
I guess for Windows, I guess CD is different or something. I don't know. I haven't used Windows much. Let me just check it. Just a minute. Tell me if it works for you.
No, I think CD works. It's my fault. I didn't created a folder of that name, so it
No,
cannot find the
Git
path.
clone can automatically create the folder. You do not have to create.
Okay.
When you did the git clone command, it must have shown cloning, right?
No, it didn't show anything. Of course, that when I pasted the folder, the low. Yes, it created the folder algorithm questions name.
So you just have to cd into that.
Actually, I have to cd into that folder. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. I didn't pay attention. CD. Okay, now it's done.
Okay, so let's continue. So basically what we have to do is,
Thank you.
did you clone this URL?
The URL you gave me right now, the Google DSC,
No,
the
you
one
did not have to clone it. You have to go to that URL and you have to fork it by clicking here.
I have to. Okay, there's a fork option. Okay, I click the fork option.
You fork it to your repository and you clone that URL. Like this is the forked repository at my repo.
Yes, I open it, and now I have to clone that
Yes, you have
URL.
to clone this URL. Not
Okay,
that.
no problem. I just clone it again. So what? How do I clear the previous one? Do I just
You
simply
just delete
delete
the
it?
folder.
Okay, I just delete the folder. Okay.
Yep.
I close VS Code and I delete the folder. It's quite interesting. Yes. Okay, I did that. Now I open with code and I go to terminal. I start a new terminal.
Is
And
anyone else even doing this?
I do gd clone, git clone or gd clone?
It's git clone, git.
Git clone. Okay. Git clone. Pasted it. Yes, it cloned it. And now again I have to do cd.
CD space the folder that you just
cd
cloned.
space. Okay.
Okay, so let's move further, I guess.
Cd space the folder. Yes, it's done. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay, next.
Okay, so now what you have to do is select any of the question from here that you can solve and write a program to solve that question and paste it into the folder that you just CD'd into.
What do I have to do again, please?
Like I'll just show you.
Okay.
Okay, so like this is the questions. So what we have to do is just like I'll select this program, write the program to input a string and see if it is a palindrome or not. So what I'll do is just I'm in the folder. I'll type code like I am writing for palindrome. So palindrome.cpp. Don't forget to write your name here so that we can know it was you who did it.
Okay.
Now here just
Hello, Venkatesh.
write the palindrome.
Sorry to interrupt. Hello, Venkatesh.
Yep.
Yes, I want to know, is the chat not visible at all? Like,
No, it's
No,
not.
the
visible
chat
at
is
all.
not visible at all. Not for me.
so I think the person who has created the meeting has disabled it while creating it.
Yeah,
So
most
Venkatesh, can you
probably.
also please share the link like you did for the repository? Can you share the Discord link so that people who are here but not on Discord can join there too? So
Just
you all can communicate back and forth,
Okay, I have
because
Discord.
second,
this
I
way
have to find it sorting, I guess.
So, sir, I have a question again, if I'm not disturbing. Excuse me.
Yep.
So I'm since I'm in the first year of BTech, actually first semester. So, should I also install Linux on my laptop for coding, or for?
If you can, then of course.
Yeah, I can. Of course, I can. I do have a separate laptop also for that purpose. It's not very strong, but Linux I don't think so need very strong, a very
Yep,
strong
Linux
laptop.
needs a very basic, like minimum 4 gigabytes of RAM and all.
Yeah,
And
that much it has.
some smaller Linux distros can even run on 1 gigabyte of RAM, so it's not a problem.
So you are using, I think, Ubuntu. You're using Ubuntu,
Yes,
right?
basically I use Arch Linux, but since there has been some problem with that, I guess I removed the root directory by mistake. So I've temporarily installed this Ubuntu because it's fast to install. Arch takes about 2 to 3 days just to install it.
So for the starting, I should install this Ubuntu because it's looking
Yep,
like
yep.
easy.
Ubuntu is the most beginner-friendly distro available there.
So I'm ultra beginner, so I should use that for now.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so
Thank
this is the Discord link for people who want to join the Discord server.
Okay, I have to create an account in Discord. I've signed out. I don't know how.
Please tell me when I have to move forward. If you all have copied the Discord link, I'll move forward.
Yes, sir, I copied.
Has everyone copied?
No. Wait, sir. A second,
Okay.
please. I just copied.
Also, to solve the questions that are given on the repository, you all can use any programming language that you all know. Python, C++, Java, it's not a restriction.
Yes, I have copied. Thank you.
So I guess let us move forward. So what I'll do is just write the program for palindrome. See, you all write all the programs. I'll just show you a very basic program because I guess we don't have enough time. पूरा प्रोग्राम लिखने चलेंगे तो बहुत टाइम हो जाएगा, I guess. Very basic hello world program I'm writing. So see, I've written this program. I know it works. So what I'll do is I'll go back to the terminal and see, let us talk about some basic Git commands. Basically, the very basic command is git status. What git status does is it shows you the list of all the files that you have changed in your folder. Because what Git is basically a version control system. And what is a version control system? Basically, see, if you are working on any project, or let's say you have any folder and you want to keep a track of all your changes. So you use version control systems. What they do is they keep a track of what change was done to what file at what point of time in the history. So like you did some change to a file in, let's say 2018, and you created a Git repository for it and you check it in 2021. So Git will have a record of what change you did back in 2019. So that is why we use version control systems. And the main use of version control systems is like a large organization is working on a large project. So there are thousands of people working on the same project. So in order to track the different changes by the different people, we use Git or any kind of version control system. It can be Subversion or Git, whatever. So first, let us go over a few very basic Git commands. So the most basic and most used Git command is git status, which shows the list of all the files that you have changed inside Git. And then we have the command git space add. Add, what basically does is when a file is changed, Git knows that you have changed it, but it has not yet been added to the staging area. What the staging area is that, okay, the file has been changed and you have accepted the change and you are ready to track it with Git. So once you add the file, like I've created this file, so I'll write the name of the file. And then again, when I do git status, it will show, see, it's showing new file, Venkatesh palindrome.cpp. So what git add did was it told Git that I have to commit this change now. Like I have to track this file in the history. So please add it to your staging area. So that is what git status does. Now, instead of writing this, I could have also written git add dash capital A. What dash capital A does is it basically adds all the changed files into the staging area all at once. So you do not have to write all the file names separately. This is very useful when you have done change to a large number of files. Git add dash A also does the same thing. And then we do git space commit space dash m. What git commit does is it creates a point in the history of Git with all the data that you have changed. So Git knows at this exact point I did this change. So you're basically pushing the change into the history of Git. So git commit dash m, then write any commit message, like I'm writing create palindrome program and press enter. See, it's saying one file changed with 8 insertions. So Git ignores exactly what you changed, how much you changed. That is why Git is very useful. Then what I'll do is I'll do git space push. I'll press enter. It will ask for your GitHub username and password. So now, since August or something, what GitHub has done is it has disabled password authentication. So you will not be able to log into or use command line for GitHub by using your normal GitHub account password. Like, let me show you. I write my normal password in, it will say support for password authentication was removed on August 13. Please use a personal access token instead. So now how do we create a personal access token? That also let me show you. We go to GitHub. Okay. Then you go here, you go to settings. You see developer settings, you click here. Then personal access tokens, generate new token. It will ask for your password, confirm it. Now, notice was basically for you to remember what this token is for. So write anything like, let me say, new Git token. Expiration means at what date does this token expire? It can be 7 days, 30 days. It can be custom also, or you can set it to no expiration so that it never expires. Then here you can define the access for the personal tokens like scopes. What all access does the token provide to your GitHub? Like repo status, you can access the status, you can access deployment and all of these. So basically for just committing to your repos, you just have to select this, and admin access you do not need, and I guess that's it. So you just select this and you will click on generate token and it will create the token for you. Now, one thing to make very sure is it will show the token only once. Once you click on generate token, it will show you a token. You have to copy it and keep it safe because you cannot access it again, and you will have to create a new token if you forget your token or you misplace it. So do not misplace your token at any chance. So has everyone understood how do we create personal access tokens?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so basically, I don't think it is a very good idea, but Git did remove password authentication, so we have no choice but to use personal access tokens. So I'll go here, this, then I'll push again, and this time I'll use my personal access token that I've already created. And let me type it. ओके इट्स अ वेरी लॉन्ग, भाई बहुत लॉन्ग होता है, तो कॉपी करने में मेरा दिमाग खराब हो जाता है, फिर से मुझे करना पड़ेगा. Let me do just one thing. I've already saved it, so let me just copy that. So see, now it has been pushed to the repository that I had originally cloned. So once we go here, I reload it. This branch is one commit ahead of Google DSC AUL main. So it means that I have committed it. So this is my commit, a very simple program. Everything that is shown is in green is basically what you have added, and everything that is shown in red is basically what you have deleted or removed. So since I haven't deleted anything right now, it doesn't show anything in red. So this is it. And now for the most important part, how do See, I've created a commit, but it is currently in my repository. Okay. How do I tell the original repo owner that I want to do this change into your repository? I want to contribute this change to your project. So what we do is we click on here. See, it says contribute. I'll click here and open pull request. We open pull request. Able to merge means like GitHub can automatically merge it. There are no conflicts. So I click on create pull request. I can give any heading to the pull request if I like, any title. I can leave a comment on the pull request, like if I want to request something or I want to tell the repo owner to keep some things in mind, I can write those in comments, and then I click create pull request. And as you can see, this pull request is open, create palindrome hash program #6. So now what the original repo owner has to do is he will go to the repository and he will merge your pull request. If the original project maintainer feels that your code or your contribution is up to the mark and is actually useful for him, he will click on the merge and he will merge your pull request, and your changes to the code will be merged into the original repositories. So this is the original repositories, and like here, see, Rushan made a pull request to the repository and merged it. So it shows merge pull request #5 from Rushan1/main. So this is how pull requests are done. Where you click on pull request and it will see open pull requests and closed pull requests. Closed pull requests are those which have either been rejected or have been merged into the repository. So, and open one means pull requests that haven't yet been merged or removed. So basically this is all about the basics of Git. Now let's talk about something that is known as branching. Now, what branch means? Let me tell you. First, let's go here. Again to here. This main that is written here, this is the branch name. Now you must be thinking what a branch is. Consider a tree. It has many branches, right? Same goes with Git. Like you have a project, a big project. You want to change something on it, but you do not want to cause a mess and you do not want to change it in the original code base. You are doing some kind of experiment and you want to first test it before merging it. So there are two ways. You can either create a fork of it into another account, but what if the repository is your own account? How do you fork it then? You don't, you create another branch which is separate from the default branch, and any changes done on any other branch do not affect any other branch. Branches are separate from each other. So the command for creating a branch is git space checkout space -b space the branch name, whatever you're creating. So let me create the WIP work in progress branch. This name of the branch can be anything that you want. It's totally up to you. So now when I do git space status, instead of main, it will show on branch WIP. So let me open my palindrome. This one. Let's change hello world to hello world. This is Venkatesh. So see, I changed something in the file, and when I again open the terminal and I type git space status, it will show modified. Now it's not showing new file, it's showing modified and the file name that has been modified. Now let's say I want to check what I have modified in the file. I don't remember it and I want to check it. So what I will do is git space diff. Now what git space diff does is it shows you what you have changed in the file. So basically I've removed this line and I've added this line. Basically this is what has been changed. Then again I will do git space add space -a and git status, and it shows modified. It shows modified in the file name. Then again git space commit space dash m space commit message. Any message, the message should be short, the message should be concise, and by just reading the message, anyone should know what has been changed in that commit. So basically, the message should be meaningful. It should not be nonsense. Like update palindrome program. Then again, I will do git push and see. It didn't push it because on GitHub, there isn't yet a branch that is known as WIP. So what I have to do is create the branch on the remote URL as well. So what I'll do is, it shows the command that you have to do. It says git push set upstream origin WIP. Origin is the remote. Set upstream means it will track the WIP branch from that remote. So let's do this. It started pushing. It is pushed. And once we go here, see, now it shows two branches, main, that is the default branch, and the WIP branch. And the WIP branch shows, see, now there are two commits that I've done. One is the create palindrome program and one is the update palindrome program. These messages don't make much sense, so please make sure to create meaningful commit messages. And then again, I'll go here. I'll go to the WIP branch. It says this branch is 2 commits ahead of Google DSC. So again, what I'll do is I'll click on contribute, open pull request. Write any meaningful title like update palindrome program, create pull request. See, now it shows this. So this is how basically you contribute to open source by using Git and GitHub. Now, since this is a hands-on session, I'll request you all to please go to this URL and start forking it and solving these questions. And I'm here if you want to ask any questions to me. So please start doing it. Any questions, anyone?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so please
Right.
start doing it.
Yes.
And if any questions at all, kindly ask me. These are basically the guidelines of what you have to do. You have to fork the repository, clone your forked repository, open the clone repository in any text editor, create a folder with your name. Remember, you have to just don't copy paste the code, create a folder with your name and paste the code inside that. Okay, then solve and add any 4 questions from these questions that have been posted below into that folder, and then make the pull request. And note that you can use any programming language for the submission. You have to do at least 4. You can do more if you want, but 4 is the basic requirement. And I request you all to please do it and not just sit here, because it will actually help you. Git is one of the most important tools that a developer needs to know.
Sir?
Yep.
So we need to make a new folder. So that means after doing CD algorithmic questions, should we make a new folder and then write this code, whatever which you said, name and the program name, our
Yes.
name
You have
after
to
the program.
create a folder with your name.
Okay.
CD into that and then create the code inside that.
So how do we create a folder?
On Linux, the command is mkdir. On Windows, I guess you can just use the Explorer.
So where should we create the folder? Under the algorithmic
inside
questions?
The repository that you just cloned.
Okay, so the algorithmic questions repository.
Yep.
Okay, so algorithmic questions, so anywhere, right?
Yep, anywhere inside that folder.
Inside that folder. So we can name it anything.
No, name it your name, so that we know that you have contributed it.
Okay, our name.
And it will help us keep a track of what people are actually doing.
And then we open that folder from VS Code.
Yep.
or open VS Code from that folder.
Yep.
Okay, so
But the git commands you will have to run inside the repository folder itself.
okay, yeah, process
The new
inside the
folder will only contain the program file that you will create.
okay, understand. So we should first create all the programs in the new folder
Yep.
and then run all the commands which you told right now to on the repository itself,
Yep.
and then push the folder.
Push the folder to your forked URL and then create a pull request.
Okay, so first let me try to write the program, and then
Okay.
if I have any question, I'll ask you. Thank you.
So Okay, so guys, I forgot to show you one thing. So let me just share my screen again. So what you all can also do is uh, let's say someone has edited something on the remote URL and you don't have that change onto your local repository. Like, let's say, let's open this. I edited directly through GitHub, I suppose. This is Venkatesh, and then I committed. So now see, there are 3 commits on this repository, but on my local system there are only 2. So now what do I do to get this onto my local repository? So what I'll do is I'll open up the terminal again. I'll do git space pull. So what git pull does, it pulls the changes that are in on the remote repository but not on your local repository, and it merges them into your local repository so that you have those changes with you. So like, there is a huge project, one person pushes something to the remote and another person who already has that repository on his local system wants that change. So what he can just do is git pull, and it will pull all the changes that are on the remote onto his local PC. And then one more command that I need to tell you about is git space log. What git log does is it shows you the history of all the commits that have been done into the repository till now. So as you can see, it shows all the commits that have been done onto the repository. So git log is basically used for that. And for example, you do not want to see all this information, you just want to see all the commits that have been done. So what you can do is git space log space double dash one line. So what is does it? It just shows you a list of all the commit messages without all of the extra details. So this is it. And also I wanted to ask you guys, how much time do you all need to complete the pull requests? If you all could please tell me.
Not sure, sir, because this is the first time writing.
Yeah, is half an hour enough or you guys need more?
So for all 4 programs.
You can do just one because I don't
Yes,
think we
sir, we
have a
can.
lot of time.
Yes, sir, we can. If we have to do a copy paste thing, we can do. But if you have to understand and write, then it will take time.
It would be better if you understand and write, and that is why I'm saying you can just do
So
one program.
so that's why I'm studying about this palindrome thing. So I can. Yes, I have understood most of the thing, and then I can write in half an hour. One program, yeah.
Okay, so I guess half an hour is enough for everyone.
That I'm not sure, but I can do it half an hour. One program I can do. Yeah.
Can anyone else please tell me if half an hour is enough for them? Yes, Aman, you've raised your hand.
Sir, do we have to create different pull requests for every question?
Sorry, what?
Like if I completed one question and
Yep.
I added another file to the folder, main folder on my machine, so
Yep.
do I have to create another pull request?
Yep. You can make different pull requests for different questions, or you can write all the questions at once.
Okay.
Then create a commit message for single commit for all of them by using git add space dash all, and you can just create one pull request for them. It's totally up to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so how much time do you all need? Is half an hour enough?
Yes, sir, it's enough. I did 3 questions already.
Okay, great.
Also, those who have done the question and have made the pull request can raise their hand so we get a better idea of like the time for which we should wait.
Yes, Ali, you've raised your hand. Have you done the pull request?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Rushan will check, I guess. Is everyone able to do it, or if anyone is facing any problems, you can ask me. Okay, so I guess all of you have done it, or is somebody still left? Because I think we should move on. We don't have a lot of time. Should we move on, guys?
So I've written the program in a different folder.
Okay.
Now I want to pull the folder, as you said in the I want to pull the folder. So how do I do that?
No, you can pull the folder only if it is on a separate remote. Like it has been pushed to GitHub by someone else, and you do not currently have it into your local repository.
I have it in my local repository. In
Then
the
you do not have to pull it.
oh sorry, I not pull, actually push it. How do I push it?
Okay, so the folder is inside your repository folder, right?
Yes, the folder I cloned, I copied the algorithmic question one.
Okay, so what you do is you open the command prompt of PowerShell and you type git space status, and you look at the output what it's showing.
Git slash status.
Git space status.
Git space status. It is showing it's not a Git repository.
So I guess you haven't cd'd into the folder yet.
No, I cd'd the folder. In the folder I created a different folder as you told me.
Yeah, but you have to cd inside the repository folder in order to run git commands.
Okay, so I have to cd what, the program which I wrote.
No, changed cd is change directory.
Oh, I have to but I already changed directory. So where
You are inside which folder right now?
the folder I copied before, the algorithmic question folder, the main folder which I cloned from which I forked from the original folder.
Okay, so what you did was you forked it, then you cloned it, right?
Yes, I cloned it.
Then you cd'd into the folder.
Yes, I cd'd into the folder, but I didn't create any program because you told that create it in a separate
Okay,
folder.
then after cding, what did you do?
I didn't cd anything. I told you I didn't cd anything. I was going to, but I didn't.
Okay, so what you have, where is the folder in which the programs are?
I have that folder.
So-
That folder is in the clone folder, algorithmic questions.
So
in
then
which
now you
license
have
and
to
read is there.
open the command prompt of PowerShell inside the cloned folder.
Okay, I have
or
to
the
open it. Okay,
VS Code terminal inside the cloned folder.
inside the clone folder. Okay, I opened the. Okay, yes.
Then you have to type git space status.
Git space status. It's showing untracked files.
Yep. So what untracked file means that you have added some new files and that are not currently being tracked by GitHub, by
Yes.
Git. So what you will do is git space add space dash capital A.
Git space add space
Dash capital A.
dash capital A.
Yep.
Dash capital A. Okay. Okay, it's done. Yeah.
Then now again look at the output of git status.
Yes, it created a new file aditya/a.exe.
Yep. Now all you have to do is git space commit
Git space commit
space dash small m
space dash small m
space double inside double quotes any of the commit message that you want.
in the commit without any space, right?
There's a space after dash m.
Yeah. Then enter.
Enter.
Okay, it's showing unable to detect auto detect email address.
Okay, so yes, I forgot to tell you guys one very important thing. Let me just share my screen. Just a second. Is my screen visible?
Yes, the screen is visible.
Okay, so what I forgot to tell you is Git by default does not know who is making the changes. So you have to tell Git that I am this person. So the command for that is git space config space double dash global and then space user dot name, and then here you will type your GitHub account username. So for me it's blaster4385, and same you will do for the email, like git space config space double dash global space user dot email space your email that you have linked with your GitHub account. Now after this, when you will do git commit, it will automatically detect the username and email and it will commit it. Any questions about this?
Let me copy what you've written.
Okay.
So first I have to enter the username, then the email. Okay.
Yep. No, you can do it in any order. The order does not matter.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I've did it, and now I can just do what you told me to do before.
Yep.
Git commit /m and the message, the commit message. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done.
You just have to push it and create a pull request.
Okay. So how do I push it again?
You just type git space push and you press enter.
Git space push.
Yep.
It's loading. Command line is stuck.
Yep, it takes some time depending on your internet connection.
Okay. Assume it's done, so now you can continue. So thank you.
Okay. So now what I want to discuss is what is Hacktoberfest. So Hacktoberfest is basically a month-long festival that happens every year in the month of October, hence the name Hacktoberfest. And it is basically a celebration of open source. It is basically conducted every year in order to promote contributions towards open source, because open source is the future. So as you can see here, this is the website of Hacktoberfest. The URL I just post it inside the chat box, since I guess now the chat box has been enabled for all of you.
No, the chat box still not enabled for us, sir.
Okay, in that case, I'll show you the URL.
Oh, I've opened this one.
Anyway, this is the URL. It's https hacktoberfest.digitalocean.com. Okay, so basically then you click on start hacking, and I've already logged in, but for you all it will show create an account through GitHub or GitLab. So since GitHub is the most popular website, click on GitHub and it will log you in through your GitHub account. And what you have to do in Hacktoberfest is you have to contribute any 4 pull requests, genuine pull requests to any open source repositories. And once you successfully complete those 4 pull requests, the Hacktoberfest guys provide you with a customized t-shirt, or you can get a tree planted in your name. So it's not for the t-shirt, it's not for the tree plantation, it is basically a celebration of open source and to promote open source contributions. So to contribute to open source, you've successfully completed Hacktoberfest because I've already done it. These are my contributions. This one not yet accepted, but the rest all has been accepted. So you go on to GitHub and you just search for any repositories that have the topic assigned as Hacktoberfest, or you can contribute to any other repository and ask the maintainer to give your pull request the label of Hacktoberfest accepted. And once it has been accepted, it will count towards the contribution through Hacktoberfest. So this is what Hacktoberfest is all about. Contributing to open source. It happens every year and it is powered by some of the most biggest companies like DigitalOcean, Intel, DeepSource, etc., etc. So it is a huge event, and just keep in mind that only the first 55,000 successful contributions are given the prizes, but don't let that discourage you and keep contributing to open source, because open source is the way forward. And also contributing to open source will help you create a diverse and great portfolio, and it will also help you in your interviews in the future. So start contributing now, since most of you are currently in first year. You have a lot of time to start development and contributions, and that is why Hacktoberfest is for you all. So basically this is all about Hacktoberfest. And I guess Rushan, if there's nothing else left, we can just wait for them to complete the pull request and we can end the session now. If that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
So I have made the pull request. Can you please check if it's received or not?
Rushan, are you checking? Yep, your pull request
Sorry,
is
I couldn't hear what you said. Can you please repeat?
he
No,
said
I've
that he has
confirmed it.
created a pull request and is asking you to check it.
Sure, I'll give it a look.
Thank you.
And also more questions would be added later, so you all can, if you want, you can complete your Hacktoberfest pull request on this repository itself, if you
Yep.
want.
This repository is open for pull requests even after this meeting has ended.
Yeah,
So
we'll keep adding more questions.
okay, that's good. So I
Yeah.
can complete these questions, right? Because
Yeah.
I've already signed in for Hacktoberfest.
Yeah.
Yep, that's completely up to you.
So I just have to submit it, and how will this update on the Hacktoberfest profile?
The Hacktoberfest profile, it tracks your GitHub account and automatically updates any pull requests that have been accepted into the repository.
So for example, like I have just I just did this pull request. So
Yep.
will it be updated on the Hacktober website?
Yep. And once the maintainer of the project accepts and merges your pull request, it will count towards a contribution, successful contribution towards Hacktoberfest.
Okay. So yeah, in progress. Yeah, it shows it is showing one in progress.
Yep.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so any more questions by anyone, or should we end this now?
Sir, thank you, sir. Great learning experience. Thank you for your time.
Yep. Just keep contributing to open source. That's all it's about.
I
Thank
use
you, sir.
open source a lot.
Yep. Ali, you wanted to say something?
No, just wanted to express my thanks and gratitude, sir.
Yep. You're all very welcome. Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? Okay, then Rushan, I think we can stop the recording and end it now.
Sure. And also, like, everyone would receive a post-event survey form.
Yeah.
Sometime
Kindly
after
fill
this.
it.
Yeah. So just please try to fill it. So, and that is the only way of communication between you guys and us. So you can tell us what you would want to see in the future, what topics would you want to see covered in the future
Yep.
in our
And
events.
what can be improved?
Yeah, and like it's the club is about you guys, right? So so we'll most probably try to give you what you guys want. So please fill the post event survey form.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.